Hello again. Hello, I'm hiding. Ta-da, revealed. Okay, moving right along on our topic of acting. I just finished a video on acting, why we act, how we act. I haven't actually titled it yet. Why we act and perform, I think, is going to be the title of that. But I want to let you know a little bit more about what really why I decided to pursue this topic of acting and as a sort of springboard for making a distinction between the outer and the inner life. I saw a movie Champagne with an actress, Minka Kelly, and I often follow up, when I see, especially with new actors or actresses, like what kind of life do they have? Where did they come from? I mean, what, IMDb, what did they do? Especially for people that are pretty good, and I haven't seen them before. And I looked at her stuff from Wikipedia, and I realized I was just aghast at her childhood was was rough, and it I was wondering how it shaped her and other actors. Like, we know that many actors and actresses come from hard places, so why so many of us become someone else to survive is really what came out of all of this. The actors like Minka Kelly had to develop certain structures in her childhood that shaped her. And when I realized the implications of this in the world of acting, as we, method acting, people in the movies, they become celebrities. We pay them enormous amounts of money. And I was wondering, gee, how our childhood, it just shapes us. And then I realized that not just the actors that we see the makeup, but all of us. There was a kind of universal value here. And the more I sat with this idea of what shapes us as children, I mean, this isn't new. I mean, this is old stuff. This, this is old stuff, man. I don't want to drop names, like Jung and Freud and all this, Heidegger, Husserl, Descartes, you know. It isn't just about actors, it's about all of us, really. Because when your early life is unstable, poverty, pressure, chaos, neglect, perfectionism, and even extreme privilege, you learn the same survival skill. You become someone else. You learn to read people. You learn to adapt. You learn to perform safety. You learn to hide the truth of your inner life behind a role that keeps you alive. All right. And you grow up thinking that that role is you. Some sensitivity groups out there will refer to this as your strong suit. But it's not you. Well, that's the outer life. life the world rewards. Think about it. The world loves the performance. The world applauds the mask. The world pays you for the persona. But the world never asks about the inner life. And that's where the trouble begins. Because the outer life is a stage, and most people never step off of it long enough to meet themselves. Think about it, really. The poor kid learns to act tough. The rich kid learns to act perfect. The religious kid learns to act funny. No. The religious kid doesn't learn to act funny. He learns to act holy. I went to school with a lot of religious kids. And that this is where the the mix-up came from, because in my religious environment, the bully reigns supreme. The bullied kid learns to act funny. Oh, that's a story for another day. The lonely kid learns to act seductive. Man, he's got to pull somebody into his cave, and quick. The, the neglected kid learns to act responsible. The overwhelmed kid learns to act invisible. Okay, kid. Which kid are you? I'm about four of those kids. You know, these are all roles, but they're not identities. They are costumes, worn over the soul. They're costumes, man. They're things that we stick on. I want to be a Roman, yes, a Roman with a German accent. Yes, e pluribus unum. I know. Yes, 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 yes. They are all costumes worn over the soul. And I know this because I lived it. I'm still living it, I think. I was a New York City street urchin. But in Catholic school, I acted like a pious little saint, a bad boy in a cassock and lacy surplice, singing in the choir, pretending to be holy, while carrying a whole other life inside me. And believe me, it was dirty, man. It was dirty. Two roles, two masks, two outer lives, and beneath them, a boy with an inner life no one could see. And boy, I became a master at covering that shit up. Yeah. And that's why Christ's message was so disruptive. Yeah, he wasn't condemning actors, he was exposing performers of righteousness. Performers of righteousness. Yeah, man, let's all make it look like we are so righteous, bro. We have foundation for our beef against the other guy. People who used outer behavior to hide the inner emptiness. That's basically it. Okay, can I say that again, please? People who used outer behavior to hide the inner emptiness. This was Christ was pointing to. It's what made him so disruptive. Uh, disruptive. Let's get a little disruption going on, all right? He was pointing people back to the inner life, the life that's real, the life that's felt, and the life that's alive. And that's what I'm doing here. That's what we're doing here. Not to shame the roles that we learned that kept us alive, to protect us. They helped us survive childhood. Shoot. Man, if you're here right now, congratulations. But now, as adults, those roles become prisons. So the invitation that I throw out right now is simple. Step off the stage. Come back to the inner life. Meet the person beneath the performance. Man, because the truth is, you were never meant to live your whole life as a character you created to survive your childhood. Therein lies the rub. There is a life underneath the acting. Oh, yeah. A life beneath the persona and a life underneath the world's applause. Yeah, there is. And that life, the inner life, is the one we talk about here. So, come on back and do some talking. Tell your friends. you know, Tell your partner, hey man, check it out. We have an inner life. Some cool stuff going on in there too. Brand new. It's like your little gold mine. All right. Stay, remain, keep, enjoy the peace. Yeah.